time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Let me tell you, we got a cool show for you guys today. We talked about this, sorry, I'm trying to dial it. Man, I need to get that stupid thing with the faders, man. I'm tired of these knobs. I have like 5 knobs to work right now, so I apologize for the delay. Anyway, we talked to you guys about Floyd Norman, who was an animator at Disney. He got fired and came back and got fired again and came back, and he kind of just doesn't leave.
Yeah.
Well, there's a documentary out called Floyd Norman, An Animated Life. It's on Netflix. Highly recommend it. We have the Filmmakers on the show tonight. So we're going to talk to them about Floyd, talk to them about the movie, and they're running a contest, actually, too. I believe it coincides with the release of the Blu-ray of the film. But it's a rad film. I don't like a lot of things. You guys know this by now. I really like this movie. I think it's great, and we were talking to them just before we went live. And I was like, I think everybody in this room wants to just be Floyd's posse.
For real.
And I think that most people who meet the guy feel that same way, which is why he doesn't get asked to leave.
Right.
You know?
I know.
I feel like if I just went back to some of the places I worked at, they'd be like, bro, look, we really appreciate it, but here at Thrifty Ice Cream Company, we don't really, we don't really approve of this. No, it's fine. Black cherry, I got it. It's fine. Cops would come.
Goodness.
It'd be a whole thing.
It would be a whole thing.
So I'm pretty excited to talk to them about it. I got like 4 pages of notes, and I think it's probably too much, but I like taking notes sometimes. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. You can find us iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, all that kind of stuff. We're on all across all social media. If you have feedback, goes to Taryn. Compliments goes to Terrence. You can say hi to Bev. Anything else comes to me, Jason, earsup-podcast.com. I'm breezing through all this stuff because I got the guys on the other line, and I want to get to them right now. They're in on the West Coast, or on the East Coast, rather. So it's already really late for them. Plus, after we talk to them, we're going to have Spectro time with Jeremy from Spectro Radio. He's going to talk to us about some things, some musical things. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a long show. And I'm really excited about it.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'm mainly excited because after we're recording our secret show for our Patreon supporters.
I'm extra excited.
And, I won't tell you the drink. Maybe it'll slip, but I'm really excited
It's going to be good.
to drink heavily on a Thursday.
It's my drink of choice as well as somebody else's.
I think it's going to be good, man. Anyway, okay, let's get right to the show here. We have Michael and Eric. Are you guys there?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Perfect.
We are here. Thank you for having us.
No problem. Thank you guys for joining us. Again, it's so late, but I really, really appreciate it.
Excuse me.
Our pleasure.
So we're going to chat.
Happy to be here and talk about Floyd.
Perfect. Yeah, you know what? So are we. I remember, so we do a segment called Disney News, very, very original name. And I remember doing this story on Floyd, and I believe either on the film or maybe it was pre-film. I can't remember what the point of the story was about. Maybe when he was doing his press tour or something. I don't know. Anyway, and we're like, wow, what an interesting dude. Yeah. I would love, and I think I may even said it on the show, I would love to make a movie about this guy.
Yeah.
And there we go. I don't have to do it now. I can return all the money to my family.
Yeah, because that was going to happen.
It was so shocking to us that nobody had. Yeah. Eric had met Floyd in 2013 at San Diego Comic-Con when he was coming off of his last documentary, and he was amazed by all the stories that Floyd was telling. And then I came into the picture because we had a mutual friend, and I was coming off another movie, and I said to Eric, what's next for you? And he pitched a bunch of ideas, and of those 4 or 5 ideas, Floyd's story hit me like a bolt of lightning. And then I went and did my due diligence, and I was like, oh my God, no one has made a movie about this guy. And then we just jumped on it right away, and within 4 or 5 weeks of our first conversation, we were sitting there filming with Floyd.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely blown away when I first met Floyd because he brought up this amazing career that he had working at Disney and Hanna-Barbera and then Pixar. But really floored me was when he casually brought up that he worked with Walt Disney on The Jungle Book.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh my God, you worked with Walt Disney? And The Jungle Book was my favorite animated film, so it was so great to team up with Michael and make this movie about Floyd and go shoot with him on the Disney lot and Floyder with him, which is fun. I could tell you that. We can verify that. It's fun to hang out with Floyd.
It seems like it, and we watch a lot of movies here on Ears Up and a lot of documentaries, but it's rare to find the documentary that reflects the persona of the person.
Yeah.
Those are the really well-made stories where you feel like you know that person. It's not just a matter of, hey, this is what this guy did,
right?
And this is why he's so cool, and this is why you should watch our movie. It's just you get Floyd's personality from the jump, and I think it's that's really good storytelling.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt that Floyd seems like the most open book in the entire history of the Dewey Decimal System. But I think
it's so funny because we've had experiences where we've done Q&As after screenings, and people have actually been combative. When we were doing our Oscar push back in the late fall, we actually had one person go, "There is no way Mr. Norman could be this nice." Like they didn't believe that he was actually that guy, and they thought we totally over editorialized. And we're like, no, if he was here right now, you would totally see this movie is spending an hour and a half with a real Floyd Norman. So we're glad you feel that way.
Well, yeah, and I didn't get the impression at all that he was disingenuous at all. It seemed so honest, and I loved that.
No, that's who he really is. I mean, we were so grateful that even his friends said, wow, you really captured Floyd. And I mean, he's this amazing talent who's had this amazing life, but what's so great is that he still loves art. He still loves drawing. He still loves animation, and he loves sharing these stories. He loves talking to a younger generation and sharing these stories of his life. So we're so glad you feel that way, that you feel like you know him after watching the movie.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a couple of moments I like looking through story for just those moments, right, that feel right or that capture everything. And when he's talking about his history, about the stuff that he's drawn, and you have him at the animator's desk drawing it,
yeah,
I was like, whichever one of you came up with that is a genius. To me, that's perfect because you have the guy doing the thing that he's talking about having done, but he enjoys doing. It's this whole, and it was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
It was that was probably my favorite moment.
That was our first day of filming, was him drawing, and it is amazing seeing a Disney legend at the drawing board doing it, and he can knock out these amazing drawings really, really fast, and we were just blown away by his talent. He must have done 100 drawings that day, I think, right, Michael?
Yeah, he really, you would classify these as quick sketches, but even his quick sketches are so great. He'll rattle off a Mickey or a Donald or a Goofy in 10 seconds flat. And, there's a lot of different levels to his creativity. I mean, he's one part physical artist, but then he's also got the story man brain where, he's a creative storyteller. So, what makes him so interesting is not just his time at Disney, but really the accumulation of so many different roles in so many different places in animation over so many years. A lot of people come into the movie thinking the whole movie is going to just be about a man at Disney, and then when they realize, oh my gosh, that's only kind of the first act, and then the movie opens up until we lovingly always say, and Gary Trousdale, the co-director of the original animated Beauty and the Beast, says it, he's the Forrest Gump of animation, and it's true, because he's been a part of everything you can think of. And, I mean, that's really, what makes him very special.
Yeah, well, and, he leaves a job, after, oh, God, I'm looking through my notes right now. I can't remember. I think after Sleeping Beauty, maybe, or something like that, and starts off with his friends to have a production company, and he just goes right in the middle of the Watts riots. Yeah. And starts shooting video and making video. And
after Jungle Book.
After Jungle, okay. Yeah. And I'm like, what kind of maniac?
company, and they did a lot of great stuff. They did black educational films at a time when they were really desperately needed, and they and Floyd and his partner Leo from that company did the animated intro to Soul Train, which we totally geeked out about because he didn't tell us that until halfway through shooting. We're at lunch with him, and he's like, "Oh, do you know I did the animated intro to Soul Train?" And we were like, "What? That has to be in the movie."
It stopped me in my tracks when you guys said that because I grew up on that show, and it was amazing. I actually went back and watched a couple of episodes after I saw that.
Of course you got some moves down.
Don Cornelius, come on, dude, that's a great show.
Yeah, he's been a part of so much, like you said, not just the Disney stuff. He seems like the most well-rounded kind of non-braggadocious, famous.
That's not a word.
Guy. Braggadocious?
Braggadocious is absolutely.
Non-braggadocious may not be, but
there's a hyphen there. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all right. What I liked a lot about the film is you. It seems like this person, Floyd, he's so open, and his family's sort of open. His wife is probably the second most open book in the entire universe.
Oh, she kind of was amazing.
Both of them actually were. But like,
wife,
in the first, I forget, maybe 10 minutes or whatever. I think one of you guys asked him, "Do you love Floyd coming to work?"
I was just gonna talk about.
And she goes, I'm used to it, which is the most perfect answer.
How would you like to see?
Yeah,
your
usually
spouse?
when we're in an audience, in a theater, that gets a big laugh. I mean, she's like, when we went in, it's like when you make a documentary, it's such an organic process, and you kind of figure things along the way because, you go down one path. And then suddenly someone goes, well, you need to talk to this person, this person, and this person. So it takes down a rabbit hole that splits in 6 different directions. So you're kind of figuring out the players along the way. Little did I think Eric and I know, because she in person, when we first got to know Adrienne, Floyd's wife, she seemed very reserved and kind of was quietly just observing in the corner. But as we all got to know each other, like that kind of very honest, blunt self that everyone sees in the movie came out, and all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, we have a co-star here. And I don't think Eric and I expected that at all.
Yeah, and then
she's amazing. She tells it like it is, and I love that. And she's an extremely talented artist in her own right. She works at Disney Publishing and does all these great Disney covers. But she's definitely hilarious. What you see in the film of Floyd's wife Adrienne is who she really is. She just calls stuff out, and it's great.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm really glad to hear it, man. And it sounds like it was just kind of writing itself almost, as far as like where the thing goes. And when she's talking about how she basically takes full responsibility for creating Floyd the way he is now. Yeah. I was like, wow.
Stop dyeing your hair, change your glasses, and put on the fedora.
Put on this hat, by the way, too.
Dang, girl. Yeah.
And even his ex-wife gives her credit for that,
too. and she's a little bitter, though. She seemed a little bitter.
Well, I guess that's what I mean about the relationships and about how open this guy is. And it kind of also, you guys dip into a little dark places, which is great. There's a little tension there when both ex-wives agree that Floyd probably was gonna spend the rest of his life with his first wife,
right?
But they just weren't the same person anymore, and they kind of grew up. And then Floyd goes on, marries the second wife. I forget her name. I'm sorry.
Adrienne.
Okay. And then Floyd comes back from traveling with her, talking to his first wife, and she's like, I wanted to do those things with you.
Right.
I wanted to give her a hug.
Yeah.
I felt so bad. But they seem kind of okay with it now, and they seemed like, are they all chummy? Are they kind of friends, or?
The movie definitely brought them closer together. To our knowledge, and Eric, you can confirm this, I think in the span of like 20 years that Floyd and Adrienne had been together, I think Belle, his first wife, and Adrienne had been in a room together like 3 or 4 times. Is that about right, Eric?
Yeah, they didn't spend a lot of time together. I mean, they had to deal with each other occasionally. Yeah. But yeah, Michael's right. They got closer through the making of the movie. And so that was a long process for them in their personal lives to get to that point.
although when Belle first saw the movie theatrically and Floyd was there, she said to him, "Get your lawyer ready." She was joking. She was totally joking. But when we asked Floyd, like, you know, how did Belle like it? He goes, "Oh, I think she liked it. Although she said, get your lawyer ready."
You probably drew a comic of it.
Oh, funny.
There were a lot of good stories, not just about Floyd, obviously, but about Floyd's time at Disney in the early days. He was talking about how he basically was instructed and mentored by the 9 old men.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I heard that, and I guess I should have known from the timing, but I didn't. I was like, wow, this guy had a hand in, or was rather trained by the people who essentially invented storytelling, animated storytelling, and kind of improved on it.
He's the bridge between that generation.
He trained under the master animators that did Snow White and everything, and Michael's right. He is the last of that generation to really train under the 9 old men, and is the first film he worked on was Sleeping Beauty, which is one of the greatest animation achievements in Disney's history, I think. And that was the last classically drawn movie, as in there were no shortcuts of any kind. After that, they went into Xerox and they made the films cheaper and faster. But Floyd trained under the 9 old men and worked on a movie where there was no shortcuts of any kind. I think it took, like 6 years to make Sleeping Beauty.
Wow.
And Floyd is a part of that.
And was Ward Kimball the one that got him the job as the in-betweener? Is that who he said he credited with getting him the job?
No, Ward Kimball was supportive of him when there were some like race issues in his initial days. Milt Kahl, he worked with. And Milt Kahl was kind of the cantankerous, no BS, member of the 9 old men who, as we show through some animation in the documentary, would love to play chess with other animators at Disney. And if you beat him, he would throw the board and the pieces and you out of his office into the hallway.
Yeah. I would do that. That would be me.
Yep. Sounds about.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It's harsh.
Yeah. Well, don't let me lose. It takes a team, right? It takes a team for me to win, and I feel like
stop it.
I love the Mark Davis story when Floyd's talking about going out to have martinis for lunch, and Mark Davis held the record for 6 lunchtime martinis, and then he would come back, and everyone would just be drawing at their desks. I can't even focus after 2 martinis. I can't imagine 6, and then going to work, detail work.
No.
Like I can't. I couldn't do it.
And they said he drew great. That's the amazing thing. You're right. Like 3 and I'm on the floor, but this guy's like knocking out great drawings,
And what is it about? What is it about that era? Like the Dean Martins of the time, like they can just get sauced and still be at the top of their game, or the whatever edge the liquor takes off them.
Yeah,
that makes them that. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, when I watched that part, I remember thinking like, what flourish was added to that drawing that they wouldn't have normally done.
Yeah. Why is Belle's face drooping? I don't know.
It's definitely the Mad Men era. I mean,
absolutely.
It's a lot of lunchtime drinking, and they would even draw these gags on the walls for the animators to make each other laugh, and that's actually Floyd got promoted up by Walt Disney himself to work in the story department on Jungle Book, because he used to draw these gags making fun of Walt Disney, and Walt Disney actually saw him and loved him, and Floyd actually got a promotion out of it. So,
I wish I could get a promotion.
Amazing time.
I wish I could get a promotion making fun of my boss. I think it'd be great.
You and me both.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that Floyd made so clear, is that it was, it was so fun to go to work. It was like every day there was kind of something that was a little unexpected. There's so many stories of, the Firehouse 5, which was composed of several of a few of the 9 old men and animators at Disney, would go and play outside and, other male and female animators would be dancing. I mean, this is how they were spending their lunch, or they were playing on the old baseball field that used to be there and doesn't exist anymore. It was just like real, true fun. It wasn't, as Floyd would say, it wouldn't be the kind of fun that you would, see maybe in a modern company where they would take a promotional photo of someone on roller skates to make it look like it's fun. Right. But no other time of the year is anybody on roller skates. It's like, no, we were having true fun.
Wow.
I had a question. So in the film, you guys have some animations throughout it. Is it safe to assume that Floyd Norman drew all those?
So basically what we did is animation was something we knew was going to be in the movie for sure. But it also was there to fill the gaps where we may not have had B-roll or archival footage. So what Eric and I did is we sat down and we watched the movie through and picked about 25 to 30 moments where we felt like we could elevate a moment with animation, to boost the comedy level, or it would inform the narrative a little better. And we picked these moments, sent over to Floyd a bunch of QuickTime videos of just like the kind of the in and out of the commentary around where the animation would go to inform him. And then within a week, he came back with like 25 to 30 still image gags based on the little QuickTime segments he saw. And then we had about 10, 11 animators all around the world that then took his single image gag and used that not only as a character model, but to help inform the narrative that they were then going to go animate. And they had a confined area. They knew, like, okay, it has to be 8 seconds long, and it's going to go against this audio track. So in some cases, we had, like, the character in the moment actually, doing sync lip movement to some audio that one of the interviewees is saying. So we tried to make them as clever and fun as possible. And, it's one of those things that, I think really boosted the level of the movie. And what we did, we actually have a really special feature on our Blu-ray where you can see the work that Floyd did in creating those single image gags side by side with the animated sequences. So you can really see how Floyd's, not only the stroke of his pencil, but the character design itself is really ingrained in the work that these up and coming animators from all around the world achieved.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Floyd looks at life through the lens of comedy and as a cartoonist, and so we definitely wanted to sort of also show what was inside his head while these like stories of his life was happening, and show the way like Floyd looks at it through animation and as a cartoonist, and so I think it definitely added a lot of fun, but it added Floyd's personality because these gags originated from him, and I think the animators, I definitely want to shout out Nirali, who's one of the animators. I think they did a great job.
Yeah, Nirali is from Australia, and she would Skype with us, and we'd have general creative meetings, and we would basically be like ending our day in New York, and she'd be starting her day in Australia. So we were always kind of, crisscrossing with each other, our form of time travel. And she was wonderful because she did the main title sequence as well as a majority of the animation. So she just did a wonderful job.
Yeah, for sure. The animation was great. How long did you guys shoot with Floyd?
For a couple of years, about 2 years. We started shooting right away. So literally the first couple of days we were shooting on the Disney lot, and Floyd was walking us around the Disney lot and sharing these great old stories through the animation building and about Walt Disney and the Nine Old Men and everything. And we just kept filming, and then we also, had to get all these great interviews of people that have worked with him throughout the years, because Floyd's worked with almost everybody. So we interviewed people like Whoopi Goldberg and Don Hahn and Steve Du Bois and Richard Sherman but as Michael could tell you, like things keep popping up. So it's like, Floyd's doing quick draw at Comic-Con, so we got to go shoot at Comic-Con. Or another interview pops up, or Floyd's going to be at another event, and we got to go film. But it was about 2 years of filming.
Okay.
Yeah, well, just to kind of clarify, it wasn't that we were filming for 2 years. It was from the first time we filmed to, like, our first public appearance, it was just under 2 years. It was probably, like, 18 months. If you added up all the time that we actually were filming, it probably was, like, 15 8-hour days, basically spread out across like 8 months. But as Eric was saying, it was kind of like, it's a rabbit hole. It's you go down one hole and then you see 3 extra tunnels. So because we're in New York and Floyd and a lot of the folks that are involved in the movie are all on the West Coast, whether they be in the Bay Area or LA, we had to be really strategic. I was self-financing the movies, so it was kind of like, we've got to do this economically, and we've got to, when we go out for a trip, we got to make sure we get the most bang for the buck. And we were really economical and really, we never tried to cut a corner, even though we were trying to be economical. It was like, we really wanted to make sure we were getting everybody that was important to the narrative, and that's also what would keep things, keep us coming back over the course of, let's say, 8 months.
Yeah.
And then the editorial process was probably about 5 months, broken up into like a 3-month chunk, and then like another 2-month chunk of comics and all that time period.
Okay, got it.
Something I actually really liked the film was that it not just as an animator, but kind of just as an artist when he was drafting, where you showed his book, and
he was Korean.
Korean.
He was taking photos.
You do what you. The because I'm terrible.
No, that's a direct quote.
But I thought that was so good in my eyes, like just sort of how he appreciated that.
That you learn that art be life.
of yet. So I for norms ticket limits. Worry about them if we hit the to the folks at Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen to incorporate a larger space.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, I will put the tickets back on sale. And hopefully get into a larger space. I personally don't want to be in the larger space because I'm afraid of how it's going to sound.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But actually, in the Floyd Norman documentary, they're in the room that I'm talking about when they give him the cake, and when the ladies behind him like, no, it's his birthday, we're all going to sing.
Cha cha cha.
That's the big
our
room.
Guest.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the room that
Okay.
we could potentially be in.
Okay.
But anyway, so the numbers are there. Don't get freaked out about them, but buy your ticket so we know. So if you're planning on going, please don't wait to buy your ticket. It would help me out because I'm losing more of my hair. But anyway, there's that. Okay, feedback, Taryn. Feedback us, girl.
Okie dokie. The first one is from Matthew, and he says, I just found this small article about gold-dusted churros that will be served during Pirates of the Caribbean 50th anniversary celebration.
Terrence.
Just wanted to get Terrence's reaction to this, if he has one. Is he excited, or is this blasphemy?
Oh, super excited. There was a listener in the park last week who took pictures and sent them to me.
Yeah.
Super jealous.
I'm sorry. What, gold?
Gold.
Like real? Like flakes? Or
Like
no?
golden colored.
Okay. Gold dusted. I was like, like
Like Goldschlager.
gold. That was literally exactly
boy.
what I was thinking.
I'll take
and I
a
was
gold
like,
churro. Yeah, it'll
are
be
they- are
$400, please.
how much are they charging?
But bottles of Goldschlager are like $30.
Oh my gosh. You guys, sometimes I shouldn't talk.
Probably not.
Oh, boy.
Sorry. That was real
No,
stupid.
I'm excited
That's all
about
right.
that. I think it will be. I think it's awesome. It looks super cool too. So yeah.
I haven't seen a photo that I didn't think looked yellow. So I'm really curious to see what they look like in person, because so
Okay.
far I've been like, it doesn't really look that good to me.
Okay. Well, I'll buy 12 when we go
Okay,
down there in
that's good.
September. You can see them then.
Perfect. And then the next one, this is from our friend Dan Shaw.
Dan?
Oh, I don't know if I usually say his last name, but anyway,
it's fine. I'm sure
he's
he's
telling
alright with
us about this opera. He says it's called The Perfect American, and it's an opera by Philip Glass about the last days of Walt Disney's life. As a huge fan of both your show and Philip Glass, I can already tell you that Jason is going to hate it. It's going to be done in strange meters with lots of repetition and probably be super dark with imagery that's both stark and complicated at the same time. Also, that Jason will hate it. But
You don't think I can deal with complicated imagery?
But maybe fill him with some of that bougie beer I see him drinking, and he might at least tolerate it.
Wow.
Bougie.
Bad and bougie.
Bougie.
Raindrop. Drop top.
As with all things Philip Glass, it is definitely not for everyone. The calling card of every music snob, which I openly admit I am, but it's Disney related, so someone out there will probably find it interesting. And then he gave a link that I can post on Instagram or something. I'm going to watch what I can of it. Glass operas tend to challenge the attention span to almost a breaking point, which I get is the whole purpose of them, but this music snob sometimes can't make it. I'll update with thoughts review if you'd like. I know, and then he talks about getting wordy. Thanks for making me feel a little bit more normal of a person once or twice a month.
Norm.
Although it's clear that we're all mad here. Peace, love, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
And then I thought I would do. I'm gonna just sort of pepper in some of our iTunes reviews while I'm doing feedback every once in a while, because I
Do
went
it.
through them and some of them are just awesome.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
So first of all, we have 5 stars like across the
Word.
board. Although there are a few. there's
Right.
there's like
Our
1,
aggregate
2.
rating is,
We're not historians. but-
yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
So this is here's one of them. This is a 5-star review from February 2017. I love this podcast. Everyone is so hilarious and fun. What I love the most is they're not Disney robots. If they don't like something about the park or are not a fan of a change happening, they'll tell you their opinion and are unapologetic.
That's right. I don't care.
They have amazing insight for your next Disney vacation, as well as amazing history lessons from different lands, windows, and Walt himself. Not to mention, Terrence thinks is my favorite, but just overall, my favorite Disneyland podcast by far.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey,
House.
would be my